Alright guys, so me and my husband went through our garden because we're getting deeper and deeper into September, and that means that things are slowing down. We had a really warm spell. It's really odd when in the first week of September we're back up into the mid to high 90s. But we had this little high pressure that came over us, made us really, really hot. And kind of helped some things to finish off. But we decided to go through the garden and kind of pick everything. What we're wanting to do is get the gardens cleaned out, get some organic into the soil, and get a cover crop put on there. Oh, excuse me. Before winter. The cover crop helps to the seeds and plants that are in a cover crop put nitrogen and really good stuff into the soil, and that's something we desperately need because this soil we got is horrible. So we are working harder and harder every year to get the organic in there and get the good nutrients in there so that every year our garden's going to be a little bit better. So we went through and we picked everything out of the garden that we think we're going to pick, and this is what we ended up with. So we ended up with some of these little pumpkins. These are what we call sugar pie pumpkins. They don't get very big, but they are meant to be cooked and made into pumpkin pie. We've done that before, and it is delicious. The problem that we really had with our pumpkins is we did not get a lot of fruit. I don't know if the pollinators were just spending a lot more time out front, or if we just had so many squash beetles that it was a problem. This one is beautiful. This is exactly what they should look like and be about this size, maybe slightly bigger, but not really too much. These are all a little bit small. And then this one never fully ripened and it's kind of wilty. These ones, so these are Congo pumpkins. I really feel like they were supposed to be bigger. I'm going to cut open one of these pumpkins, probably one of my sugar baby. So we got 2 sugar baby pumpkins. If I can show that. They're not very big. You can see I'm holding it. It's the size of a softball. So maybe a little bit bigger. But they're meant to be small like this. They're kind of a single serve sort of watermelon. My husband did open one of these Congo watermelons. We ended up with 5 of these altogether, though this one has some root rot on it. I'm not sure if it's going to be any good. But I feel like they're not as big as they should be. So I don't know. So this is one of our sugar baby watermelons. Okay, you can see it's slightly bigger than a softball. Just gonna get into that. Oh, look at that. Have to give that a try and see how that looks really good. They need to be eaten before they dry out. I'm gonna cut both of them open so that they can get eaten. Yeah, those look really good. Those look really good.
You do not try it. I cold watermelon better.
Yeah, they're better cold. How does it taste though?
Good.
Is it sweet? Mm-hmm. Does it taste like watermelon?
Yep. I think I want to put mine in the fridge for a little bit.
There are a lot of seeds in there, aren't there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very seedy. Very seedy. I'll put mine in the fridge for a second.
Yeah, watermelon's better cold. This one's been sitting out on the table, so it's kind of warm. But
should I wrap it in something or something?
Yeah, it would be good to wrap it up if you're going to put it in the fridge. Anyway, there are a lot of seeds, but the seeds are kind of localized in a specific area. So maybe not as sweet as it. Not as sweet as maybe I would like it. Maybe it'd be sweeter if it was cold. Anyway, not too bad. And then we did end up with 2 really nice looking spaghetti squash. We would have had a lot more, but those squash beetles got to our squash plants and ended up killing the plants that had like 4 or 5 on them. So what we're going to do with our not quite finished fruit, we're going to get those packed into a barrel. We're going to give them to our friend Robert from High Desert Ranch, and he can give them to his pigs, because there's no need to waste stuff like that. There's just not enough time for it to really ripen, and so we're going to take it and give it to the pigs. It'll help the pigs grow. He's going to be harvesting, I believe in December is when he's going to be harvesting those pigs, and that's the plan with that. I did pull off a couple cobs of my corn. It's not fully developed, and we're at a point where we're going to stop watering anyway. And the problem with corn is it needs a lot of water. We weren't getting enough water, and sweet corn I think does a little bit better here. So that's all right. It was something fun to try. Our strawberry plants are looking great, and most of the fruit at this point we've just kind of been letting it drop on the ground again to help build up that patch and get a whole lot more strawberries in there. We've got a whole bunch of sunflowers that have finished. Most of the sunflowers that are growing are just decorative. They don't have the edible seeds. I have one giant head, and I thought it was a Mongolian giant. I think it might be a crossbred seed from last year because the seeds aren't very big. They're half the size of what they should be for a Mongolian giant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to harvest those seeds and kind of spread them in that garden and take the rest and I'll feed them to the chickens, or because the chickens, they're almost like the black oil sunflower seeds. So the chickens will love them and eat them, and they'll be really good for them. And we've got, I think that's all for the garden right now. Our tomatoes in the front that were still green are finally turning red, and we've got some nice big ones, just not very many. I don't know, it was an interesting year for people with the tomatoes, and I think maybe it was the rain, maybe there was too much water on them. It seems counterintuitive, but sometimes that's what happens. And I don't know why, but I feel like half of my chickens are out in the yard. A bunch of them have figured out how to get out the run. I think I need to clip some feathers, clip some wings. I have a few, like this black one right here. She's an olive egger. She can get herself in and out. But this cream leg bar, I am not sure how she got out unless she's just watching everybody. And same with our little Easter egger over there. They come out, they kind of peck at my grass. I'm waiting for grass seed from Pearl's Premium. I've never had them take this long to send me grass seed. It's really strange. I emailed them and I haven't heard back, so I hope everything's going well there. We want to get some grass seed and some mulch and compost onto this stuff that all died, so that maybe in the spring we'll have a good growth of grass come in. It struggled, one, because the soil is really bad, and it also struggled, two, because we put some fertilizer on it. And I know I've talked about this before, but I've put fertilizer on it, and we either didn't get enough water on with the fertilizer or something, and it burned the grass. So I think I've said this before, I'm going to insist that my husband not use fertilizer for at least 1 year. But you can kind of see that stuff there in the corner where the chicken is. That's 2 years of growth. It's beautiful grass when it grows. And over here we have a bigger amount of growth. But it's still kind of tufty all over the place. So we'll work on it. And there's our beautiful view. Guys, we have lived here for 3.5 years. And I still love it. You can see it's smoky. As far as I know, we don't have any big fires here in Utah, but they are fighting them up in Washington State and up in Idaho. We had a really strong well, not a really strong, but we had a decent north breeze the other day, and it blew all the smoke in to the valley. So we're supposed to get some rain this coming week, and that'll wash a lot of it out, and hopefully the firefighters and the good people working on that will be able to get those fires out, so that's not a problem anymore. Chook, chook, chooks. Yeah, that's the food sound, isn't it? Got our potatoes over there. Mark has checked them and said that there's little potatoes growing on them. I think we may have stopped watering them so that the plants can die and then we can harvest them. We are still learning stuff, so any help you can give us in the comments would be awesome. But it'll be kind of fun to have our own potatoes. So if you can see that, these are some of the Mayflower beans that we harvested. Letting them dry out. We've got some over in a pod over there that we're kind of waiting for them to dry a bit more. They're just such a pretty bean. We didn't get very many, maybe enough to do some more seed, but they're kind of what I call a soup bean. I'm sure there's a more scientific type name for it. We also, I don't think I talked about this before, but we got a bunch of pole beans from a friend, and I was able to can up 14 jars of string beans. So they're so good. And there's my sweet husband. He's amazing. So some projects we've got coming up in the next few weeks, we are going to move some bucks over to another friend's property for the winter, so that up at the pasture we can just open the gates and the goats up there can get through on both sides. I need this for the winter just so that they can get to their shelter and so that feeding's a little easier. We are going to be picking up our winter hay for the goats here really soon. And I've got the money saved for that, and it's just a matter of finding the time to get over there and pick up some bales of hay. I'm really pleased with the amount that we had for the summer. We got 40 bales, and it was alfalfa, straight alfalfa, which is best only for the girl goats. The boys, it can have too much calcium and cause problems with their urinary tract. And so we try not to give them too much of that, but they've been able to eat out in my friend's pasture, and it's been amazing. They've all been so fat and so happy, and they've all grown so well. So we're gonna be able to buy 80 bales of grass, and we'll see how far that gets us. And hopefully, it's been such a good year with the water that I feel confident that we should be able to buy bales in the wintertime, maybe around, I'm hoping that this 80 bales will last me at least until February. It might last longer. And so we'll have enough through the winter. I'm going to have to take a few to a couple different places. One, because I don't have space to do all 80 of the bales here, and two, because I'm going to have goats in 3 different places. So we're going to get all set up with that. I don't know if you have seen it, but there are companies out there that sell the big plastic things that go on the signs that are the great big billboard signs. So when they are old and they come down, then they sell those big plastic things, and people use them to cover their hay through the winter to keep the rain off of it, and they're so cheap. And so I think I might pick up some of those, because we buy tarps, and tarps are super expensive, and they just wear out so quickly. And we are in need of some new coverings for our hay. I'm just trying to think of what else we've got going on. It's just been a wonderful summer, and I've learned so much, and I've had so much fun with this stuff. Hopefully we've got babies coming up here in October. Be doing some fun things as a family, and I'm just you know, as I say, I'm always so grateful for those of you who watch. I just enjoy doing these videos, and it's been a lot of fun. So we'll see you on the next video.